Guys, so you're looking to get into a commercial kitchen, but you're not sure how much per hour you should pay or what type of other resources you may need to get your food business up and running. So that's what I'm going to cover right now on Marketing Food Online. Damien, as I mentioned in the introduction, I wanted to cover a great question that I got from a handful of subscribers. I'm actually checking out my laptop here. The question was in regards to renting a commercial kitchen, and they wanted to know how much is a good, reasonable cost for you to rent one, and how do you go about finding the right one. And there's a lot of variables, and I'm going to cover those variables in this video. So the question really applies to people who are not going to produce food at home. If you want to produce things in a food product in a commercial kitchen, you will have much more opportunities to sell that product in a lot more variety of avenues than you would if you actually did it at home, okay? So commercial kitchens are basically, if you're not familiar with what they are, it's actually a really large commercial styled kitchen that normally has walk-in freezers, they'll have large coolers, they'll have ovens that are normally commercial grade, not like the ones you have at home, but something you'd find in a restaurant. They have a lot of work tables. They're going to have a lot of workspace. They're going to have also a lot of storage space. And now they actually have what's known as these kitchen incubators. And the incubators are actually a kind of a hybrid, if you will, of commercial kitchens, okay? So what they actually offer is everything I just talked about, but they're going to give you other resources like additional business help if you're trying to start a small business, if you need to incorporate that, some of the legalities, sometimes even like educational programs that can inform you and talk to you about what is needed and what's necessary for starting a business, how to get licensed and how to get the right permits. There's going to be a lot of other educational resources that are tied into a kitchen incubator as opposed to just a commercial kitchen. So it's almost like if you took a college and you took a commercial kitchen and you combine the two together, you're going to have a lot of educational stuff and a lot of help on growing the business and understanding the business in the food industry, plus the idea of having all of the actual equipment that you would need to start your food business. Now, the question that I had is really tricky to answer, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's a little difficult to give you a straightforward, you know what, per hour it's $100, $110 an hour, that's reasonable, or $50 an hour. It's going to have a lot of variables. A lot of commercial kitchens are actually located mostly in urban cities and urban dwellings in urban areas. There's not a lot or as many as there should be in a lot of rural and non areas such as like New York and Miami and Atlanta. There's a lot more commercial kitchens there than there would be in a lot of other non-urban areas. I personally believe that it would be great if more of them opened up because it would give more food entrepreneurs the space and the equipment that they need to start their food business. And the reason why I say that is a lot of the commercial kitchens have a tendency to be a little more pricier because they have rent as well. They have rent to pay and they have a lot of overhead to operate their commercial kitchen. So it can be a little bit pricier in those areas compared to a lot of others. Now, of course, that's one very small factor in determining it. Now, the other factor is going to be trying to get yourself scheduled for a certain time slot. A lot of times commercial kitchens that are very popular, that have a lot of scheduled appointments and they are locked up for a certain amount of hours, have a tendency to be worth more, and a lot of times they're going to end up charging more per hour. And that's okay. That's kind of a normal thing in the industry as far as the business is concerned. But as far as what it is per dollar amount, normally it can range anywhere from like a $50 to $70 to $80 or even up to about a $200 per hour. There's a really big variable between the two of those. Depending on also the amount of equipment and the type of equipment and the type of commercial kitchen, how much equipment that it's got, that is as far as the variety of processes that you could do there. A lot of commercial kitchens are set for baking stuff. Some other commercial kitchens are set for packaging foods as opposed to actually processing and making them. So there's a lot of different variables in between. So if you're looking for a specific price point, you would really just need to contact the one that's closest to you and see which one would have the best prices for you. Plus, you would need to go there and to check to see if they have the right equipment. They are not all equipped the same. Some of them have a tremendous amount of ovens and such, which would lend themselves to people who are creating baked goods. Then a lot of them have a lot of more packing and processing and packaging foods So the equipment that they'd have would be a lot less ovens and a lot less processing, a lot less mixers and blenders and that type of thing. And they'd have a lot more tables simply for just processing foods. So keep that in mind. Your needs, depending upon the type of food that you need, those should be the criteria for you to pick out a commercial kitchen when you're renting one, okay? And of course, if the commercial kitchen near you doesn't have those things, then you should try other facilities. You got to keep in mind, there's a lot of community centers that have kitchens that they allow the community to use. That's perfectly fine because those are also licensed as well. You can also check in with schools, universities, there's even churches, there's a lot of other types of community centers as well that have those types of facilities available that they allow the community to use, and those may be avenues that you can actually utilize and are a lot cheaper too. Now, the other thing you want to keep in mind is, and I mentioned this in a handful of my other videos, taking a look at some of my questions here, is if that you are going to go to a commercial facility to create your food product that you are then going to take somewhere and sell or potentially sell online or to a retailer, make sure that you are incorporated and make sure that you have the right form of incorporation. Of course, there's 3 different types. There's, of course, the S Corp, C Corp, and an LLC. I personally, my business is an LLC, but we are now transitioning that into an S Corp under that type of filing. And that is because of our particular type of taxation and the type of filings that we do. That's going to vary, and it's going to be dependent upon your selection and what's going to be best for your situation. And I would check with an accountant. I'm not giving you any accounting advice. I'm simply letting you know that that is what we use. And the LLC was great for us to start, but we're now transitioning into an S Corp, and that's going to be a benefit. Why am I telling you that for a commercial kitchen? Is for this reason. You need to also have insurance, okay? You need to have insurance for your business, your food business, and that is to protect you. A lot of commercial kitchens also have insurance as well. That is to protect them from the people who come in and use the commercial kitchen, similar to, let's say, a restaurant would have insurance in case a customer comes in and slips and falls. They're going to have protection for that. Once you create your food product in a commercial kitchen and you then ship it out for consumption by a consumer, you need to make sure that you have yourself insured. You need to protect yourself and, of course, your business. Now, traditionally, that type of protection, LLCs, for instance, will limit your liability, and that would allow, if anyone were to actually sue you or someone got sick or an allergy or something like that, they would not have any opportunity to take anything from your personal belongings or your personal home or your car. There's a lot of legalities and legal aspects that will allow you to protect yourself. They can only check out the business. They would only go after the business and the assets from the business. So again, that is your determination. You need to read up a little bit about that. But stepping foot in a commercial kitchen, you need to have insurance for your food product, not anything to do with the commercial kitchen itself. The other thing that I would highly recommend is that you would double check and find out how far in advance you need to secure the time. A lot of commercial kitchens in urban areas are very busy and booked out for quite some time. So if you are in the process, let's say you got a big order for something, or maybe you're catering an event, you need to make sure and check far enough in advance that you can secure the commercial kitchen and to make sure that that time slot and that space is available for you. A lot of them run very tight shifts as far as if you're securing it from 9 o'clock to 11, you have to be out at 11, and they have another party coming in or another food producer or someone else coming in to rent the kitchen. That's something you need to be aware of. So in advance, you're able to secure that time slot. So wrapping this all up, can I give you a dollar figure? Unfortunately not. I don't think anybody could, because you need to check with the specific location where you are and then find out what it is and how they do it. Some commercial kitchens go by hour, some go by hourly blocks. So they're going to say, you know what, our minimum is 3 hours. So from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, the kitchen is all yours, but it's not done on an hourly basis. It's done in a three-hour block basis. Some of them do it that way as well. Keep in mind also is that when you figure out the pricing of your product and how much you're going to produce in that time slot, one of the biggest costs to you is going to be the renting of that kitchen. Now, to put it in perspective, when I started my bakery at our retail location, we dumped a lot of money. I went through quite a bit of our savings to do that. The reason why I tell you that is that in some cases it's cheaper and less of a financial investment to rent a commercial kitchen and use it as needed instead of delving into this big facility and maxing out your credit cards and everything else to try to make something work at a separate location. I would not recommend doing that. But every day, of course, as my philosophy is that you learn something new every day, And of course, that experience taught me quite a bit about finances. So I would recommend you definitely just stick to renting a commercial kitchen, use it as needed, and then move on from there. As your business grows, though, if you see that you've got an opportunity to grow it and you don't need to be renting that space, then delve into getting put together a great business plan, approach a bank, explain to them what you've been doing, and then get yourself a loan if you make sure that you've got a product within the community or within the area that you're doing that can generate the monies down the road that will be able to allow you to pay back the loan. Would I recommend taking a loan out when you first start a food business or any business? Absolutely not. I would recommend you test out your product first and take small steps with big ideas. Always think big, but take small steps, okay? So with that being said, I'll wrap this up, and I hope that was helpful and let you understand about how to get a commercial kitchen and the costs that may be coming into play with that. I would highly recommend you definitely do that. Please do take very small steps and invest a little bit of your money at a time. Don't delve into it without some type of game plan and without you testing the market first, okay? So I'll see you guys on the next video, and I appreciate your time. Take care.